Are you learning anything yet? I hope you are. Okay. It almost looks like a new trap, huh? Okay, I want to get that up. This one's important not to get it on just wrong, if you know what I mean. And see, that's the other thing. It's hard to put that down on that curve by holding this up. I may have to lower it and then go straight up. And usually it'll fit on there fine, you know. Okay. And it's going. Well, I think it's going. Feels like it is. If I couldn't tighten it like that, it wouldn't. I know it wouldn't be holding. Okay. And it just, man, it seems like it's really going on there tight, but I know I haven't cross-threaded it or anything. Okay. So now I'm trying to do this one without getting in your way. Just push the washer down there and get this one going. Okay. And I know it's going. And I'm gonna have to tighten it up pretty tight before I get my channel locks out. Okay. And I'm looking at this and see this can go back a little bit. Okay. And I'm also looking at the height because I don't want to get this cattywampus, and I want this to stay up. And I know this one just needs to be tight. Boy. Okay. Okay. And then I look at this and kind of eyeball things and tighten her down. And sometimes you can get traps to not leak just by hand tightening things. Did you know that? Okay. Now this one just kind of lives where it is. And I'm looking at it. I don't really like the whole looks of this whole thing, because whoever installed this pipe is going down at an angle. It should be straight up and down. Can you see that? Whoever installed that, I have no idea how this is not going straight up and down. It's kind of up at an angle, which means this has to be at an angle, which means this is kind of funky too, more so than standard. You know what I mean? And it's like, how much do I want to mess with it in order to make it right? And I don't think I want to do much of anything to it, because it could leak if it's not going at that same angle. Do you see what I mean? And so I'm going to leave it like that. And that was kind of how it was going before I took it apart. And there's a tip for you. Before you take something apart, take a look at things, kind of see how they are. If you think something's slightly crooked or something like that, you just have to kind of pay attention and see how things are, because I can even see this here is kind of at an angle. It should actually be, this should actually be to the right a little bit more and having go straight down, but it's not, because this has to kind of go up at a slight skew, because this pipe is going up at a slight skew. This should be down further, which would then make this to slide over. Does that all make sense? Okay. And so since I've got it pretty tight by hand, I'm pretty sure that's about the right angle and that kind of thing. So now I'm going to take my channel locks to it. Okay? I'm going to take my channel locks to it, and we're going to tighten this up, but we're not going to tighten it up very much. And I'm going to just keep the camera rolling so you can see how much I tighten it up. And could I run it without tightening it up? Yeah, probably. I probably could. But I want to make this just slightly snug, and everything's plastic, you know? I don't want to bear down on anything too much. And I like the little ears because then I can kind of take my hand, see if I can turn it a little bit more. And that one just turned just a hair. I want to get it as tight as I can with my hand before I tighten it up with the pliers. You know what I mean? Okay. So, because then I know I only have to do with the pliers just a little turn. And that's it. Okay. All right, so now I got my adjustable channel locks out, and I'm just going to give it a little turn. Not a whole lot. That's it. And look at your thumb turns as you're turning it so that you think you're tightening this, but you don't have it held tight enough, and this is just spinning on here and it's not tightening. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that this actually moves as I'm tightening this, and it is. And that's all I'm going to do. Just that last little bit, okay? Just that last little bit. Same thing here. That's it. You see? I didn't do too much. Could I turn this way over here? Yeah, I could, but chances are I might crack this nut, I might crack the back side of that, I might flex the pipe to where you think it's going tighter, and you're actually bending this. There's lots of different things that could go wrong if you get it too tight. Do I want to get it too tight? No. Because if I cracked it, I'm never going to fix it, right? Then I'm going to have to go back to the store. My theory is I get it as tight as I can with my hand, my fingers, my thumb. Then I do a little eighth turn. I call that an eighth of a turn. In fact, it was probably a 16th of a turn, and that's it. My theory is now I can turn the water back on, right? Or I can turn the sink on, and I can check for leaks. Okay, so let's do that next. Okay, I'm going to turn this water back on. Okay. And yeah, I've got to waste a little water. Sorry about that. But this is just something you have to do when you're testing for leaks. Okay? I get my rag out of the bottom. I make sure this is all dry. Okay? Then I can take Kleenex or toilet paper, or just have my light shining on it, and I've got to wait here for a while. And if I see any drip, then I can tell where it's coming from, because if you had a drip right underneath the adjustable trap right here, you don't know where it's coming from. It could be coming from this nut on the back side, running on the back, dripping, hugging it until it comes to here, and then it drips. Or it could be coming from this edge down and running over here, or whatever. So you just have to spend a few minutes. Not going to take long, because I don't really think it's going to leak, but you've got to take a few minutes and check your work out. The last thing you want to do at this point is not wait long enough and just say, oh, I've never had a leak before, it's going to be fine, and you get everything back together and you tell somebody, okay, I got it fixed. And then months down the road, you start smelling a funky smell underneath the sink, and you find out, son of a gun, this thing's been dripping, and not only has it been just dripping, it's been dripping for the last 6 weeks, and everything underneath your sink is wet and saturated, and then your cabinet starts getting bubbles on it like this. This was from the last owner. I can see this here. That's because they had something here. I don't think the sink ever leaked before, or else you'd see a discoloration underneath it, or you'd see some of this over there. So whatever they had stored in here dripped and leaked, and then it started lifting, and that's just what happens. I see where there's a mark here and some over here. So I'm going to take some Simple Green, clean that when I'm down here, and while I'm waiting for this, and hoping that it's not gonna leak. But do you see why I use the Teflon tape? I mean, if you don't use the Teflon tape, one of these could be leaking. And had you put the Teflon tape, maybe it's not leaking just because of that. And how long did it take for me to put that Teflon tape on? It only takes a few minutes. That's like your insurance policy. You see what I mean? That's all it is. And it fills up that void just a hair more. So if anything were to fail, the vinyl little washer in here, the bushing, or the one up here, if something were to just barely not work like it should because it's not brand new, those vinyl washers are over 20 years old. In hindsight, it probably would be best for me to have replaced those with brand new ones, but I didn't want to drive down to the store and all that. And maybe next time I go down to the store, and if I remember, maybe I'll get some extra of those sleeves, you know, for future use or something. And just remember too, when you take those out, you want to put everything back together the same day. If you're remodeling, let's say you're remodeling and you wanted to clean out your sink, you got it all pulled out, and oh yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm working on painting and redoing floor and all this other stuff, and I'm gonna be replacing the sink faucet anyway. So there's some other stuff I've got to do, and I'm just gonna leave it all pulled apart. And then later you're gonna put it all back together. Well, you know what? Your little vinyl nylon washers may leak because they may have dried in a wrong position and now it's got a memory to it. You see what I mean? So if you're going to do something like this, and if you're not going to replace those vinyl washers, I call them vinyl, I think they're nylon, I don't know what they are, but nylon washers, then make sure you put everything back together like I did, same day. You know? So here we are, what is it, 2 minutes later? It still hasn't leaked, and it's looking good. Everything is dry down here. I've got my construction light. If you don't have a construction light like this, get one. It only costs like 20 bucks at the store. They got a 300 amp or 300 watt. They got 250, 300, and 500 watt lamps. And isn't it nice? I just pull that out whenever I need to. It works perfect. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to make a video. But if you don't need one of those to just make a video. You need one of those so that you can look down in there. Because if I didn't have that and the lights were on, maybe it's too dark in there. You can see so much better, you know. So get one of those and you can use them for your jobs. Okay. All right. Enough of that. I am going to clean this cabinet bottom, and we'll do it once over on leaks and see what's happening next. Yes, there's a little bit more for you to learn, so keep watching. Oh, it's draining really good now. And you know, that's because this is popped up all the way now. And for all the reasons why I explained before, okay? So if you didn't watch the first part of this, or the second part of this, or the third part of this, then keep that in mind. See, that could be a little lower, but if I want to get it higher, I'm just going to push that down, and this is just going to rest on top of that plunger. See how high it is now? She shouldn't have any problem like what she was having before. And it really wasn't plugged up either. I didn't think it was, but trying to explain that to her and trying to show her without pulling it all apart, it's kind of difficult. So I think you understand what's happening there. I've already cleaned that out. I used my simple green, I used my sponge, I rinsed that out, I wiped that out, and it's dry now. And then I'll be able to put all my stuff back up in there, and it will look like I was never here. Okay, that's how you want things. And after that, coming up next, I'll show you how to put these doors back on. You know what? Change of plan. I'm going to put the doors on now before everything gets in the way. All right? Okay. So pretty simple. On these, I only had this one little screw, top and bottom, and then this has a little groove on the back side, and there's a little nib on the back of these, and it fits behind this other thing, and that's how these are kept. That's how these are kept tight there. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I almost had it wrong. And see, I don't want to push it in all the way because they were pulled out just a little. So I'm gonna keep it pulled out just slightly. And once I get everything done, then I'm gonna look at the doors and see if I need to adjust them ever so little or not. Because see, this going in and out will create this front side to come out or push in. And with these things, with these drawers pushed tight, and this, I can see that this cabinet door, this edge actually has to come further out. Wow. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna loosen that and just pull it out a little. There's only so far I can get it without it being off of there, right? So I'm gonna test that. In fact, that's pulled out even further than it was when I first started, but it's better. It's almost flush, and that's where I'm gonna keep it. I'm actually liking that. Okay, so that's where I think it's gonna live, right like that. Okay, just like that. And we'll just get you situated over here. We'll do the next one, and I'll try to do this one and mimic the same thing I just did on that one, you know, within reason, right? And I remembered I screwed those in just a hair. I don't know why I did that from initial. But if you don't have these adjust or put in properly, it's not gonna fit right. And okay, that looks right. That looks right. Yep. Okay. And it all looks good. Let's just. My head's probably in the way. Sorry about that. Okay. Once I get it in that far, now I can take my hand off it. And let's see. I got this one about the same as the other side. And I don't, it's okay, I'm feeling it, and it feels just like for like. Okay. And this one, see, I got to pull it out just a little. And like I say, most concealed door hinges are not created equal. Okay, that looks better. It's almost flush there. And if anything, it could almost be pushed in, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it right where it's at. And then if you want to adjust the doors, actually in and out and all that, you can raise and lower the door by the 2 screws on the cabinet itself. And then there's another screw right here that you can suck the hinge over or throw it out. If you suck it over this way further, then that raises this edge up. Does that make sense? You push this out further, it pushes this down, and if you have a real big gap here, you can adjust that, and then you can look at those, and then you can start figuring out, okay, which way do I need to push this and that and that stuff, okay? You see what I mean? And there. All right. Now I got those little pieces of trim, and which door which door is she more likely to see it with? I'm gonna say she's more likely to see it with these over here rather than these over here. Okay? So, or I can just put them on the top. You know, with it saying kitchen craft. Or I can put 2 here because I was missing 2. I can just put them on the top, or put them both on this side, or whatever. Okay? You figure out that. Okay, so now I'm almost done, but I have some closing remarks after I put this stuff away. Okay, stick with me. Now before you get done and call it good, I want you to clean up. Now I've already wiped off the counter. I sprayed it down with Simple Grain. I've wiped this down with Simple Grain. I'm even gonna wipe off the mirror, and after this dries, I'm gonna pull that back over there. I've got everything back in here. Everything wiped out, everything cleaned out. You wouldn't even know that I just fixed that and checked that all out, would you? All looks all so nice and clean and pretty, and everything's put back in its place and everything. And that's how you need to do things when you get done. I put this down, I've cleaned the toilet, I even adjusted the toilet seat while I was here. And I wiped off the floor here, I even wiped off around my counter. I can see I can wipe the mirror a little bit, and then once I put all my tools away, I'll put the mat out again. I'll take all my stuff, put it away, wrap it all up, vacuum. Yeah, I'm even going to vacuum this, put all my stuff away, and that's how you want to do things when you get done with the project, okay? All right. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. Thanks for checking out this entire video, and I don't know if this was a video series you watched. I know I went through a whole lot of things, so I'm hoping you watch part 1, part 2, part 3, or however I've got this, because the more you watch, I'm telling you, the more you learn. And then it's all about, after that, getting your hands down there and doing it yourself and learning along the way, remembering some tidbits that I've told you along the way, that I've showed you along the way. You're still gonna mess up a few times, trust me. But that's just how you get better of saving money around your house. Whatever you feel comfortable with, you want to try it, you can try it. Other things that you may not feel as comfortable doing, maybe you don't want to try, okay, whatever. But rest assured, if I show you something on my channel, I think you can do it yourself too. Catch you next time.